Do you want to learn how to create a design like this? In today's video, I'm going to show you how to do that only using text inside of Adobe Spark. What's up, guys? Thanks for clicking on this video. My name is Nate Hibbert, and this is Wingman University, where our goal is to help you start and scale a print-on-demand business. In today's video, inside of Spark, I'm going to show you guys how to make very simple text-based designs that we're mostly using for print-on-demand, but you can really use these anywhere. They'll work perfectly on social media. You just have to resize them. So let's go ahead and jump in. If this is your first time hearing about Adobe Spark, I'm going to start all the way from the beginning here on Google, and we can just type in Adobe Spark. And the first thing that comes up should be spark.adobe.com. That is the actual URL. You do want to specify Adobe, though, because there are a few other Spark websites out there that might come up first. So Adobe Spark, it should be the first one. If you click that link, it will bring you here to their landing page. It's going to tell you all the great things that Adobe Spark can do, but we're going to go ahead and sign in. For me, I have linked Adobe Spark and Google, so I'm going to go ahead and continue with Google. So once you signed up or fully logged in, it will bring you to your personal dashboard. It even says your name. So now you are the proud owner of graphic design software. It's online based and it's fantastic. But we're going to be focusing on creating a new project. So I'm going to go up here to create a new project and custom size graphic. For me and for this print on demand design, I want it to be 4,500 by 5,400 pixels. I'm going to hit next, and that will bring us to our artboard and our toolbox where we can actually start creating the design. And I'm going to try and keep things basic today. So we're going to start up here at the add button represented by this plus symbol. I'm going to click that, and it's going to bring us to our text tool. So once I click this, it's going to ask us two different questions. Do we want to start from scratch, or do we want to use a template? And some of the templates in here are fantastic. I've used many of these on different projects I'm working on, but I'm going to start from scratch today to show you guys what that looks like. So I'm going to hit this button that says add your text. And once we hit that button, it's going to bring up this line where we can type in exactly the text that we would like on our artboard. And for today, I have a coffee theme saying that we're going to use, and it's buy me coffee and tell me I'm pretty. I'm actually going to use the and symbol and not the word. So buy me coffee and tell me I'm pretty. Once I type that in the way I want it, I can hit done, and it's going to populate inside of our artboard here. We know how to add text, and now we're going to start manipulating this text since it's on our artboard. The first thing I'm going to do is actually change this background to black, just so you guys can see what's going on a little bit better. And if I click on our text that we added to our artboard, you can see that this white box comes up, and these white handles also come up. And if we click and drag on these white handles, it allows us to resize our text dynamically to whatever shaped box we draw out or drag out. So if I want this to be nice and big on a shirt, I can drag the box to be nice and big, and then there we go. We've got our basic layout for the shirt. Now, beyond just resizing it and changing what lines, which words are on, we have our toolbox over here to the right-hand side, which will really allow us to get into some of the nitty-gritty details that we can change. So things like line spacing, you can see that these words are fairly spaced out, and if I drag this slider to the left, it's going to make it so the words are basically on top of one another. I'd like it somewhere around here, but you can see that just connects the whole design a little bit more, makes it feel less spacey and a little bit more together. So I'm going to click and drag and move this closer to the top, but there's also a lot of other things we can do, like changing the font. We can do this capitalize and fit, which I really like. I don't think I'm going to do it for this design, but just showing you guys how quickly you can manipulate this text, and that is just all in the type tab. There's also colors that we can change. So there are some suggested colors, and then there's all these different color palettes that they have put together for us. So if we want to do black and yellow, we can have that just by one click. It changes both colors on our design. There's also this shape tab over here, which has lots of cool shapes that we can do. I'm actually going to remove the background. You couldn't see it anyways because it was black on black. But then there's also the effects tab with lots of different tools inside of here, like adding shadow or an outline, which can be helpful for some designs. But my favorite, and I think the reason a lot of people like Adobe, is because of this style tab down here at the bottom, which gives you a way to randomly generate a bunch of different combinations. So you can just get some inspiration. So if I click this green circle and drag it around the gray path, you're going to see that it changes the color, it changes the font. Sometimes it'll add shapes in there. It just does a lot to give you inspiration and to see what is possible. So if I stop on this one, which I really like, you can see that it's buy me coffee and tell me I'm pretty, but I just changed the font and the color a little bit to give us a different view of what's possible. For my personal style though, and what I try to sell on my shirts, I'm gonna simplify this just a little bit. So I'm gonna go into type, I'm gonna choose my favorite font in this whole program, which is this BN Regular. So I really like this font, but for the word pretty, I would actually like something different. So I'm going to add a secondary text style, and I'm going to click on the word pretty. I'm going to unclick the word by, and then I can change this font independently. And we're going to find something a little bit more cursive. I think that works really well. And so I'm liking the direction this is heading, but I could be here all day messing with this design because I'm a bit of a perfectionist. So if you'd like to learn more, we have a playlist for you all about Spark and the tips and tricks that I suggest for this tool. And if you'd like to actually see me use this tool for our print-on-demand business, we have a playlist for that as well. And both of those will be over here. But until the next video, I'll see you guys around.